Hey up everybody and welcome back. Right, well, this is the week you've all been waiting for, so we will get round to that subject in a minute. Actually had to do a little bit of repainting because the colour I've used is a little, as the paint people told me, it's a little transparent. In other words, it takes quite a few coats to get what's called covering. So you put it on and you put another coat on and it doesn't quite look right and you can see parts that you haven't quite got. So I got it all done and then I just noticed the fork legs weren't as good as I wanted them. So I've just given them another coat. This is Saturday, by the way. So they'll be ready for tomorrow. So we'll build everything else up and then tomorrow we'll put the forks and the front wheel in. But other than that, everything's going to be put together. Alright, so we are still getting a nice regular increase in subscribers, so again, thank you very much. We're getting more comments, which is making it a little difficult to sort of answer everybody, because to be honest, I'm not somebody who lives on my computer. In fact, you know, I got a smartphone around New Year because the flip phone I was using was, I don't know, 3G, and they were changing the system, so I had to change a phone and I thought, what the hell, I'll get a smartphone. Well, next time I go down into town I'm getting another flip phone, because to be honest, smartphone is just, it's so bloody big, I keep forgetting it, I don't like to carry it, all I use it for is a phone. So, you know, you young'uns can call me names if you like, but a phone's a phone to me, so that's beside the point. What else? I'm sitting in front of my trials bikes, YamBSAki, the Enfield, and you may have spotted this previously I think, but here's a Scrambler 125. I finally broke down and bought a modern bike. My friend Mike has been trying to get me to get a modern bike for quite a while, for the exact reason that I did buy this one. This is £60 lighter than the YamBSAki, and I notice it when I'm riding. When I go out and spend an hour or so riding around my sections, it's a lot less tiring to ride. I still enjoy the YamBSAki. In fact, I was out on that the other night, went round fine, and funnily enough, some of the skills I'm picking up on this one are transferring to YamBSAki. First time I took this out, I went straight down on my ear. I did, the first section I went into, there's a piece you go up, round a tree and then down. And I went up round the tree, it felt fine, and then of course in my mind I'm still on the YamBSAki. So as soon as I was round the tree and pointing down, I just closed the throttle expecting the bike to slow down, but of course it didn't. It's a 125 two-stroke and it just went zoom. So it wasn't particularly long way down, but by the time I got near the bottom, which was a little muddy, I was then thinking, oh, I better put the brakes on. And again, still in YamBSAki mode, I grabbed a bunch of brake, and of course it's got disc brakes on, and I just went down on my ear. So I've got used to it since then. And I must admit, I'm enjoying riding it. I had a flywheel weight put on, which made a big difference. It was still a little buzzy for me, it was still a little on-off, but the flywheel weight has really evened it out. So anyway, for those of you who spotted that, and I'm sorry Charlie, but I got one in the end and I must admit I'm enjoying it. Maybe I should have built a mini Otter, but it is very nice. Completely different from the YamBSAki and obviously totally different from riding this, but they're all fun to ride, so what the hell. Alright, so that's about everything that's going on. So I suppose the only thing to do is to show you what I've painted. So here goes. Right, so are you ready for this? There you go, look. Even the camera had to change slightly to cope with it. Just to mention, of course, a reminder that this is my bike, my colour. Now as you can see, Spot isn't greatly enamoured with it. He thinks it's a shade too bright, but I like it. And there's a story to it. About, must be 50 years ago now, I used to get a magazine in the UK called Motorcycle Mechanics. Some of you may remember it. And in that there was a section of sort of readers' bikes. And there was a chopper in there one time, which was a YamBSAki, the 650 twin. I think, if memory serves me right, it was even the plunger model. And the chap had done it in sort of that yellow and just polished metal. He'd even done the engine in yellow, but then the timing chest and the gearbox out to cover, and the edges of the fins, because he'd put alloy barrels on it, were all just polished up, and then it had a chrome tank and alloy mud guards, and so it was just shiny metal and yellow. And it's been at the back of my mind for all those 50 years. So when I was getting the bits together for this, and I realised I had the polished alloy tank and alloy side panels and the stainless steel mud guards, etc., I thought, wow, I'm going to build it that yellow and polished metal that I saw all that time ago. So there it is. And Spot, you can sit there with your sunglasses on for as long as you like, but I think it looks smart. So let me begin to gather bits, and then we'll set to and put it together. Now the first thing we're going to put in is the swinging arm. So I've put 2 cleaned out grease nipples with new fibre washers on. Taking the little bushes out of both sides so I could grease the needle bearings, so they go back in there. Then on each side you have a plastic shroud and then a thrust washer thing, and they go on like that. And now comes the fiddly bit. Getting it in between there, because unlike the Enfield frame, which of course isn't fastened at the bottom, these don't spring apart. They go in from the top, or at least that's the only way I've ever been able to get them in. And they're not the easiest things to put in, particularly when you've just repainted the frame, and because it's a pretty close fit, and honestly a thick coat of paint will stop you from putting them in. And you've got to put them in square, because the least bit of an angle means you've lost that space you've got. God, I hate putting these in, I really do. Because that happens. Okay, I'm going to fasten down the front end of the frame so it can't lean over like that. Right, we'll try again. Now little jobs like this are why I always, when I get my paint mixed up, get them to make me a little bottle of touch-up paint the same colour, because you're always chipping pieces out. Now then, let's try again. Sometimes this thing just drops in and sometimes it doesn't, but as I say, you go from the top there it goes. Right, then in goes the spindle. Goes through. Now the other side. There we go. We'll set this so we don't actually have any wheel alignment at all, which we can't quite do. Alright, we'll put it on just the very first one there. That in that side. Come round here. Grease. Now, as I've mentioned, these things are not symmetrical, so you've got to put them on. See, that is closer to there than that's closer to there, so you've got to put them on the same both sides. Now most of these are welded on, but I have come across some where the spindle is separate and there are two separate ones of these. So we'll pull that back, that on there like that. Then we have a washer and a big nut. I'm not going to tighten anything up at the moment, I just want it all put together. Right, so that's that. And as you can see, we've chipped some paint off there, so I'll go around and sort all this out in time. So next thing are our rear suspension units. For that side, one for this side, which has our couple of little spacing washers in, because you may remember I had to move this one over slightly in order to clear the chain. So that goes in there. And then I didn't bother making a spacer up because it was just the thickness of two washers, so that made it nice and easy to do. Come on now, come on now. There we go. And I need a washer for that side, so let me get this one in here first and then we'll go and find a washer. Twist that round straight. Two washers to go in there. Oops, I'll push the bolt through a bit. There we go. You have to excuse my head and hat, but come on, I can see it. There's one just in the way. There we go. Might need a longer bolt, put a longer bolt in there later on. So what we'll do just for now, because these can all come out and go back in. Let's see, that's the longer bolt in the top. I wonder if that one should have gone in the bottom. Right, let me do this one. Actually, I'll show you this side because I just noticed that you couldn't see anything on the other side. So so come on now. Go. Paint. now. And this one, there it is. Walk around to the side so I can see. Oh yes, again, just a bit of paint. Right. There's our nice shiny rear suspension units on. Okay, the next thing we'll put on, I think we'll put the wheel in, because I can get the mudguard on alright with the wheel in. And then I can get things balanced more to put. No, I'll tell you what, we'll put the yokes in. Next thing I'll put in are the yokes. I've packed both bearings with grease. So that goes in there. And this piece goes on the top of there. Come on, find a hole. There it is. That goes up in there. And that goes on. Oh, that's right. I still have to make up a spacing piece. I've got a temporary one. Let me put this temporary one in. I need a thinner one making. Catching me out, but this is something I can do at any time. And that's going to go in there. And that's those. Get grease everywhere again. Right, so next thing we can put in are these handlebar mounts. Can you see this? Yeah. So they're conical. One goes in the bottom, one goes in the top. I'm going to probably pull you back a bit. Let's have a look. And that bit goes in there. Like that. There's a big thick washer goes on the bottom, and then a lock nut. So that goes on like that. I'll do the other one, then I'll tighten these down. You know what, I keep seeing places I'm not happy with the paint. This yellow has really been difficult to paint. Before I'm finished, I might end off taking some of these pieces off and redoing them. Yep, there's another little piece I missed. Damn! I might be able to get these with the little touch-up stuff I've got. But no, I can't find a nut that goes on there. Oh, fuck. Just put these all in so that I don't lose them. And we'll go to the back end and put the back wheel in. This paint is really annoying me. I love the colour, but as I say, it's been so difficult to get a perfect coat. I'm not even sure if that looks right. There might have to be some on the bike spraying. If it's parts that's not too difficult to get to, what I can do is literally wrap the bike in a blanket, mask up the piece I'm going to do, and then do that. But if it's largish sections, I'll take stuff apart. While we're doing the engine, I will go over it all carefully and possibly have to undo a couple of bits and repaint them. As I say, I've got to wait till tomorrow to put the forks in. That, and then one last one of these for the pinch bolt. Right, so that's that. Now then, what's happened to that nut there? They were all in a bag. There's the big washer. There's the 4 bolts for putting the headlamp on, not the headlamp, the handlebars on. Ah, there it is, just under a cloth. Once these are tightened up, the bolts are actually drilled to take a split pin. So while we've got the handlebars on, we'll do all that. Okay, right, let's go to the back end again. I think we'll put a wheel in. I'm actually going to put the rear mudguard on next. I'm just going to use this stainless one I've got just to get it put on, because I've had to go at repairing this end, but some of it was just so bad it keeps cracking again. I've actually bought a piece of the right thickness stainless steel sheet to try and do a repair, but I don't know. The trouble is, I'm having real difficulty finding a stainless one. I can get from this chap called, oh, what's his name? Peter Fletcher? No. Might be. Anyway, he runs a company on the northeast coast of the US, YamBSAki singles, and he sells a mass of stuff for all the single cylinder models. And he has some alloy ones made up to the pattern for the B50, but again they're still really expensive. So I might get them. I might get a generic rear one, which would be fine, aluminium, and then get the alloy one he does for the front. I don't know, but in the meantime I want to see what the bike looks like, so I'm going to put this on. So I put rubber grommets in the holes because they're about 3/8 holes, but they're only 5/16 holes in the frame mounts. So we'll just put these on for now so that you can see the way the colour looks with polished metal. For some reason, I think I mentioned this already, I've got 2 stainless steel front mudguards, B50 type, B50 MX, but only 1 rear. So I don't know why that is. Anyway, need a nut. I think what I'll do is, I don't want to end up spending an absolute fortune on this, you know. There's enough money going into it to be basically just one of my little collection bikes. Is I might get the generic alloy rear and the proper shaped alloy front B50 type. Right, there's that. There's that and that in. I hope you start to see the way now that the yellow really goes nicely with polished metal. Oh, it's not very polished, actually it was dirty. Alright, so I'm going to put this on a box so I can get the back wheel in. Right, back wheel. Should actually have put this on that jack thing I've got. Now I look as if I should have a couple of spacers here. At least a spacer to go on that side. Hold on a second. Alright, the day is progressing and a spacing piece is neither here nor there. I can find that or make another one. I just want to get these things put together. Come on now. Get yourself into there. Excuse me. I have put it up on the jack thing so I can wind this up. Right, that's looking good. Yeah, there would appear to be a little spacing piece that needs to go in there. I'm going to leave that just in case it needs to go on the other side. So we'll leave it till the engine's in and I can get the chain line right. But I don't see why I didn't leave the spacer on the wheel spindle like everything else. Now then. I've got a little bag here with swinging arm things in it. So we have got, that's the brake. That's, I think, that goes in. Then the bolt goes in. Let me get a 3/8 washer, 3/8 lock washer. That is going to go in there like that. And then that one goes in there because it fits in that gap. Goes on there. And I've actually put captive nuts on the back of all of these things. I think someone mentioned why didn't I do that, but I was planning to do it. Ow! I need more washers than I think I do. I'll pinch that one off there, look. Goes on there. Oh no, that's right, of course. I don't have a washer on the back, do I, if I've got a captive nut? Silly boy. So that just goes in there like that. Well, actually, I haven't run any, I haven't run a tap through these painted ones yet. But like yourselves, I'm interested to see what this looks like, so I'm going to get it all put together and then we'll see what's what. Alright, that's that in there. So what else can we put on? We could put on the front mudguard. So let me move you. So as I say, I've actually got a stainless steel front mudguard. I've got two of these, and they're the proper ones because they've even got the strengthening strip down the middle. So we put this piece on, and this goes on with 6mm bolts. And you may remember I put these extra ears on, and they go on to 6mm because of course they're screwing into the YamBSAki yokes. The edge of that could do with more paint. I'm really annoyed with this. But we can soon pop this off and give it a coat of paint. Come on now. To be honest, this was my own fault. I was trying to do too many pieces at once, so I was a bit pressed for space in there. I know better, I should have done the frame and then another day done the rest, but the weather was right and everything, so I was trying to get it done. Okay, so that goes like that. Then that goes on there like that. There's a rubber grommet in each of these holes in the actual mudguard. Same as with the back, the holes are about 3/8, but all the other mount, where it comes through the other mountings, are 5/16. So I seem to remember from the past, but there are little rubber bushes that go in here. But rubber grommets work fine. As per usual, holes never line up properly. Not even on factory items. Now actually I can take these off now because it'll sit on the back wheel. Right, let me put these away and then we'll do a bit more. Alright, so as I'm trying to give you an idea of what this is going to look like, so that you know I wasn't going mad with the choice of paint, I'm going to put the side covers on and the tank and saddle on. These still need polishing a bit more, so these will be even nicer. Little green one, little green one. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Just to hold the tank where it should be. Gonna go on. Oh, I've got the rubbers. Hang on. A couple of rubbers as well, and then bolts up so it sits flat. That is going to go on there like that. So it's starting to look something like, hang on a second. Now that's as far back as I can get the camera to one side. So if you can imagine it now with big alloy coloured engine in there and a nice slash of chrome pipe. Chrome here and the yellow fork legs, and then the wheel with its silvery grey hub and rim. I like that. I have to say, I like it. So until tomorrow, of course that's going to go on there. Till tomorrow when I feel happy about handling the forks, we'll build the forks up, put them in, put the front wheel in, put the handlebars on and all that sort of stuff. And then all we're waiting to do is start building up the engine. So I'm knocking off for today, and I'll come out in the morning, which will be Sunday morning, get the forks done and still get a video out to you for Sunday evening. Alright, it's Sunday morning, so let's get the forks put together and in and get a video for you. Right, I've got everything laid out. Fork bottom, there's the spring, damper tube, and then all the bits that go in. I noticed that the The dust seal that comes with them now is different. We don't need this piece, which actually wasn't a bush at all. You can see that because, where is it? It was just to hold the wiper in. And now the new one, the wiper is sort of a much bigger thing. So, dirty. Look, hardly got started and I'm dirty. So, let us get ourselves started. Okay. Where are we? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in our oil seals. Oil seal. Can you see that? Yes. Alright. Get it in the right way. Up. It's actually got 2 seals in it. Or 2 spring seals. Okay. I think is about it. Okay, that goes in. Then our circlip goes in. Boing. That in, tuck down with this. Make sure it's in its groove. Which it is. Then this bit goes in. Go, that's nicely down on the clip. So, next thing is we'll oil the seal nicely. And we'll get some around that lip. Now the fork is actually, see, it's got a slight slope to it, so it goes in nicely. Whoop. Actually, that can go on the bottom end, so, or can it? That goes in that way, like that. Goes in there, like that. Now, the next thing to go in is this. It was pointed out to me that I'd got that wrong. It's not for when it hits the bottom, it's for when it comes up and hits the top. But anyway, who cares? So we'll put that in, like that. And now I'm going to move you over, because I've put the holding tool in the vise. Now, as I say, I've put the tool into the vise just so that it's held. got the bolt for the end with a nice freshly annealed copper washer to seal up there. Alright, so that's that part together. Let's go back to the bench. Right, now the rest of the internals. So, spring goes in. Then we have a little cap that fits onto the end of the spring. Then the distance piece, sort of pre-load if you like, and then that. That's not it, where's it gone? I've got another, oh there it is. And we'll put the oil in when the bike's all together. Right, so let's take the forks over, put them in the bike. Okay, let's see if we can get these through the yokes. In your way there, wasn't I? Oh, good. Keep your fingers crossed it will go in the top one as easily. Now don't forget we're gonna, oh, come on. Be sticking these through the top a bit. Tell you what, let me switch you off a second. I just put a strap on the back end so that we don't overbalance here. Right, I'm going to push this up 2 inches to start with. One last little bit. There we go. I'll just tighten a couple of these up to hold the forks. Well, let's tighten them all up while I'm here. Go around the other side. You know, I thought this was going to be a short video, but it's turning out to be quite long, isn't it? Oh bugger, I'm going to turn you off again. The wheel stop thing on the front of the bench was catching on the fork, and I don't want to damage the paint. things straight. Anyway, that went in. There's my ruler. And 2 inches there. And then we'll pop the wheel in. And then what I'm going to do is run it down off this table, because it never looks quite the same sort of on the table as it does when it's on the floor. Apart from anything else, you sort of see gaps that you don't see when it's down below eye level. Right, front wheel. Oh, you're a bit high, aren't you? Right, it goes like that. That goes like that. I'm going to have to wind up. Okay. Chipped this paint already. Oh, a little bit higher still. I'll just fill that nut. There it is. Right. Let me give this a clean off and I'll get it down so you can see. So there it is with the handlebars on and things. As I say, it'll look a good bit different with the big sort of silvery grey alloy engine and a flash of chrome for the exhausts, but it's just how I imagined it, so I'm happy with it. I've actually ordered a pair of alloy mudguards from Peter Quick, it is, at BSA Singles. He had a bunch of aluminium ones made up to the B50 MX pattern, so it's another couple of $100, but what the hell, let's get the thing right. Alright, that's taken me a bit longer on a Sunday than I thought it would, so now I'll go and do the video for you to watch, and you stay safe and enjoy yourselves.